Fascism is a term that calls to mind images of cruel dictators who rule with an iron fist. And this year, it's a term that's seen a resurgence in use as the debate on whether President Trump is bringing fascism to the United States rises to the national stage. Prominent journalist Masha Gessen wrote in June that, quote, whether or not he is capable of grasping the concept, Trump is performing fascism, end quote. And the author of How Fascism Works, Jason Stanley, has expressed his concerns as well.
So I'm very concerned here. We're seeing people said it's not fascism because they're not attacking democracy. Well, what are the attacks on the elections about, if not attacks on democracy?
On the other hand, Princeton professor David Bell argues that fascists have an organized mass movement under their control, and Trump has made no attempt to build such a movement. And legendary leftist political thinker Noam Chomsky claims that since businesses control the government, America is not becoming a fascist state.
So I don't think it's fascism. It's essentially tin-pot dictatorship.
Merriam-Webster defines fascism as a political philosophy, movement, or regime that exalts nation and often race above the individual. They say that fascism stands for a centralized autocratic government headed by a dictatorial leader, severe economic and social regimentation, and forcible suppression of opposition. From the beginning of his 2016 bid for president, Donald Trump's campaign slogan, "Make America Great Again," has promised Americans that Trump will restore America to its former glory.
And we will make America great again!
In May and June of this year, the murder of George Floyd by a police officer led to massive protests for racial justice and police reform across the country. Trump responded by encouraging governors to be tough on protesters, even offering the services of the military to clear the streets.
Today, I have strongly recommended to every governor to deploy the National Guard in sufficient numbers that we dominate the streets.
Trump also had protesters removed with tear gas and rubber bullets so he could pose with a Bible for a photo op. And in the weeks leading up to November 3rd, Trump has sparked concern that he may not honor the results of the election. At a press conference, he refused to commit to a peaceful transfer of power.
Will you commit to making sure that there is a peaceful transferal of power after the election?
Well, we're going to have to see what happens. You know that I've been complaining very strongly about the ballots, and the ballots are a disaster.
He has repeatedly suggested that he should stay in office for more than 2 terms.
And we are going to win 4 more years, and then after that we'll go for another 4 years.
So do Trump's actions prove that he is bringing fascism to the USA? The truth is that it's difficult to know for sure, but either way, these growing concerns are intensifying civil unrest in America. This is Sequoia Lowe with WCSU News Election Connection.